I'm Sarah Katz. Do you want to live a more optimistic life? Well, I'm here to help. In this podcast, I'll be discussing a variety of topics, such as positivity, motivation, and self-love, to ultimately inspire you to live your best and blessed life. So, let's chat. This is... Hello there, everyone. I am back. Are you excited? I'm excited. Welcome to another episode of Skatz Chats. I hope you are all doing well and happy October 1st. I cannot believe it's already October. I think I said this before, but I'm ready for all the pumpkin spice, and I'm ready for the weather to cool down here. If you live in LA like me, you know that it's still hitting 100 degrees some days here. I really want to put on some jeans. I'm excited to wear pants again, but I've been wearing shorts and skirts this whole time. I'm ready for a change. I'm sure you are too. All right, so very exciting news. This is the first episode of our new interview series called Chatting It Up. I'm very excited for you to hear the conversation that I had with rapper SFV.Prophet. We talked a lot about motivation and why it's important to pursue your passions. Now, you'll notice a little bit of an audio change, but we were successful in having our interview virtually over Skype, of course, being safe with coronavirus. So I'll go over a few takeaways for you after the interview so you can get started and take action today to go after your goals and create new opportunities for yourself. Are you ready to hear the interview? All right, I'm going to hit play right now and let's get started. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, thank you so much, Nick, for taking the time out of your day to talk to me today.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. It's my first time actually being on a podcast, and as a podcast consumer myself, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Awesome. Okay. So, first off, tell me a little bit about your passion for rapping, your passion for music. So, when did you officially start? How did you start? Tell me a bit about that.
So, the first time I ever rapped was probably senior year of high school. One of my friends basically said, he's like, yeah, let me put a beat on and let's freestyle. And he did his thing for, four bars, nothing much. And then I went and I was able to go continuously and keep rapping off the cuff. And he's like, wait, you're actually pretty good at this. That was good. So ever since then, I've always played around with it. And then I'd say I've probably taken it seriously for about a year and a half. And when I say seriously, it's really just trying to make the best music I can, whether it's producing beats or, producing and rapping or mixing and mastering for other people. When I'd say taking it serious, it's not, I want to do this for a career all out, but it's just making what I know I can make, Do
you consider it to be or you want it to be a side hustle maybe?
Not even a side hustle, because I feel like when people say that, it's a little extra way to make money. But I mean, for me, it's just not rapping and music. It's not about money. It's just I genuinely enjoy doing it. So it's it is work, and it is hard work to, when full-time job, still trying to work out and then make time for music. It's definitely time consuming, but it's just something I feel like I should do because I want to, and I want to see, I'm very competitive. So it's I want to see how good a music I can make. And, if it's good enough that it could take me somewhere, that's awesome. But if not, I can be happy with the fact that I made the best possible stuff I could make.
And then how did you come up with the name SFV.Prophet? Where'd you get the inspiration for that?
So the first song I actually recorded with a really good microphone was called Prophet with a Prophet. And it was, I say it kind of still holds up, it's kind of definitely some exaggeration in it. And I guess it's a song where I was trying to flex. I think I was 19 when I wrote it 3 years ago. But it still sounds pretty good. And since it was the first song that I made where I was okay, I really like how this sounds, and other people were rocking with it too. So Prophet kind of stuck. And then I'm well, I don't just want to have that in my name. So SFV, San Fernando Valley, I'm gotta rep where I'm from. So threw that in there, and It just stuck. I never really put much thought into it after that. I'm just like, you know what, SFV.Prophet, yeah, it kind of works. You know, a lot of rappers using like a random 3 letters and then a name, but I feel like it was natural. I didn't think of it. It was there.
Yeah, I think it has a nice like flow to it because like you said, a lot of them use either like initials or just kind of rep where they're from and where they started to kind of just think about their roots, kind of where they started. And that helps to humble them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too is like I kind of try and stylize it sometimes with like grammar, how it's typed or written. I got a shout out to my homie Johnny Ferris at Yosemite. He's the one who actually started, you know, he was the first one who told me, hey, why don't we like, you know, do all caps with a period at the end or something to where like the name just is differentiated, you know, it looks different because that's ultimately what you're going for, you know. In music, you want yourself, your brand to shine through in your music. So I'm like, if we do something different, even with just how we title stuff, I think it stands out in a good way. So that's why like on Instagram, it's like SFV.Prophet, and I have it like that on streaming services too, just for consistency. And, you know, it's just something different. People most of the time don't just have that tag everywhere, but I don't know. I kind of like having it.
So now that we know a little bit more about you, tell us, what does motivation mean to you?
To me, I mean, motivation is something that I feel like a lot of our generation doesn't even have. And I feel like it's something that has consistently gotten weaker over like the last, I don't know, few decades in our country. But for me, it's just motivation is what drives you. Like, what do I want to do today? What am I going to do today to make my future better? And that's ultimately what it is, you know, whether it's work, you know, even say if you don't like your job, you know, but if you're doing that job to make money now and save for the future, you know, you're motivated to improve your future. I'm just motivated to not waste time, you know, take advantage of every minute. And I feel like since I've graduated college and now it's kind of, you're not on the college schedule, you're not on the college life where, you know, personally for me, I had a ton of free time in college. Like it was a breeze for me, the last 2 years especially, straight breeze. So it's like now I'm way busier working and you just become more conscious of how you spend your time. So it's like I could watch Netflix for 2 hours. I'm probably not going to feel good about myself if I just, you know, watch a lot of Netflix and, you know, once I get off work, if that's all I do the rest of the night, like I'm going to be kind of disappointed because I'm going to be like, I didn't take advantage of the moment. You know, I could have done more. Just motivated to keep getting better and not have regrets.
And that kind of leads me into another question that I had for you, which was, so I know you talked about how in college you had a lot of free time, but now you're busier with, you know, your full-time job. So how are you able to kind of just balance your life with making music?
I mean, it's really it just comes down to, you know, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to do something? And for me, like I said, it's really not about, I feel like so many people that make music, they have this idea of making it. And I say that with air quotes because it's like, what does that even mean? You know, does it mean you're doing it full time? Does it mean you're making good money at it? But to me, it's just like, you know, what drives me to find time is just, I know I'm pretty good at it because it's a passion of mine. I put time into it. I try to get better and I'm just motivated to basically explore all the avenues available to me, you know, whether it's a professional job, whether it's, you know, bettering myself, my fitness, or, you know, whether it's music. I just have really worked on the mindset that I don't want to be on this earth and waste the chances I'm given. Or, you know, if I'm 30, I got a beer belly, got 2 kids and depressed or whatever it may be, you know, I don't want to be in that spot and look back and be like, man, I wish I did this when I was younger. Man, I wish I did this when I had more freedom. So I feel like it's just working on the mindset that take what you have right now in the moment. You know, if there's something you could pursue, just do it. Mentally, I feel so much better now. You know, I barely play video games now. Don't watch nearly as much Netflix. I'm trying to stay active in what I want to pursue. And like, once you just make the lifestyle switch of pursuing it and forgetting about just wasting time or doing something that's not going to better yourself, it just becomes habit. But I mean, at the same time, though, you know, you still need time to relax. But I kind of take my weekends. Yeah, sure, I'll take some time to relax. But on a weekday, you know, it's after work, still got to work out, got to get your fitness in, just something you have to do. And that's just how I look at it. You know, it's not a choice, and I don't give myself the choice to say, hey, I'm not going to do this today. So yeah, it's just it's discipline and just being persistent, you know, sticking to what you want to do.
Always grinding every day.
Exactly. And I'm sure you relate to that too, you know, with having classes. And I know a podcast could definitely be very time consuming. You know, I can't even imagine the planning you do and scripting out a full episode. Like, I'm sure it's very time consuming. So I'm sure you relate to constantly pursuing what you want. And that's kind of, I guess, a follow-up question I want to ask you. Like, what's your goal with the podcast? Like, are you trying to like make it a full-time thing, or is it just kind of like me where it's something you want to do and you're going to do it to the best of your ability?
Yeah, thanks for asking. That's a great question. And about like preparing for the podcast, I'm a pretty good writer. And so once I think of a topic that I want to write, then I just kind of type away for maybe like, I don't know, 2 hours at the most. You know, my episodes haven't gone over 20 minutes, so that's about like a 6-page script, I guess. But it's pretty easy for me. Yeah, I like to follow kind of a guide that I make up in my head, I guess. So it's just, I've always been a really good writer, so that part's easy for me. But yeah, all the behind the scenes work, like making my website, the socials, getting the equipment, doing my research on podcasts in general, I did all that during the summer where I had more free time, so that was convenient timing. But yeah, so I was uploading once a week, and then I've switched to once a month due to school, and, you know, this is my last year, so I did start to think, what do I want to do with this podcast? I mean, I want to go into advertising or marketing after I graduate, so I don't know if I want to do the podcast thing like full-time yet. I think I want to make it just like a side project or a side hustle, or this is a way, like my podcast is an outlet for me to do what I kind of want to do in life, I guess, is to inspire other people. And I have, you know, or have had throughout my life, I guess, since I was young, a lot of more like intellectual thoughts. And I've just always enjoyed making people smile. Like I said in my first podcast episode, I like being friends with people. I'm a people person. And it is flexible because, like I said, I changed it to uploading once a month. And I can change it to, you know, when I have more time, uploading twice a week if I wanted to. But obviously not doing that now. But yeah, it's just a project where I can use my voice to hopefully inspire and influence other people. I haven't really thought about it too much. I don't really have a specific plan for this podcast yet. But once I graduate and once I have more time, then I'll be able to kind of think about it more. But for now, it's just like this nice little fun project that I am doing. And as a business student too, and I'm sure as you have seen too within your classmates, like a lot of my classmates have their own kind of thing. You know, they have something that they created that's their own, whether it could be like a clothing line or a blogging website, something like that. So I feel like it's important as a business student to have like your own thing that you create, because it also gives you good experience to put on your resume too, whatever that may be. So there's multiple reasons why I do this podcast, but the main reason is so that I can use my voice to inspire other people, because I feel like that's kind of maybe a calling that I have.
Another really cool thing about what you're doing is we listen to podcasts of famous people, and it's almost like, you know, they're up here, like they don't understand the problems or the struggles or the mindset of a 20-something-year-old who's just entering their professional careers, whatever that may be. So I think the relatability of what you're doing is so cool, and I think it's something that, I've enjoyed listening to your podcasts already, you know, just having a positive outlook and you know, being able to look in the mirror and not be cocky, but be confident in yourself, I think is a huge thing that a lot of people, especially in our generation, need to work on. So I just think, you know, when we're looking at, okay, what are the benefits the listeners are going to get out of listening to a podcast? I mean, I think what you're doing is for sure more meaningful than, you know, 99% of the podcasts out there that are just people BSing. And it's like, if someone in our position, you know, college student is listening to what you're saying, they actually can get something out of it and take that advice and use it in their life.
Yeah, I think it's much easier for me, like you said, than someone famous or I don't know, maybe someone older than my target audience because I may be more relatable because I'm going through same situations and experiences that they're going through too, as someone who's the same age and who's not necessarily, like I said, a psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever, you know. But yeah, I just think that people need to have just a real friend, and that's what I'm trying to be in the best way that I can through using my voice. People our age need to have someone to just relate to.
The purpose of your podcast is to be there for people, essentially. Whereas, so much of media these days is just so toxic, and not necessarily podcast, but kind of talking about social media too, which obviously, your Instagram account's also very positive and trying to inspire people or, just give them something to smile about. Whereas, there's so much social media where you go on and you're just like, man, negativity. The world is burning. 2020, the world's ending. So it's definitely a nice change of pace to, see something that's very positive.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. So tell me a little bit more about your goals for your music. I know you said that you are trying to improve every day, but what is kind of like the end goal that you're trying to reach or you're trying to achieve with your music?
So for me, it's just focus on what I can control. So, I can never completely control how many people are going to listen to what I put out. I could do my best in marketing and, word of mouth promotion, but I can never fully control how big a song gets or anything like that. So I guess my end goal is just explore every avenue. So if one day, I make something, whether it be rapping or producing or as an audio engineer, mixing and mastering, if something like that ever blew up and got a ton of attention and I was able to pursue it further, that would be great. But at the same time, I'm not relying on that, or I'm not just hoping that happens. It's really just continue to put out good music. And if people enjoy it and it continues to grow, so be it. And if not, if it's just the people that currently listen that keep listening and because I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on the last two projects that I put up on SoundCloud. So it's nice to get that. It's definitely nice, but definitely not the reason why I do it. So yeah, just like I said, trust the process, keep going, and keep getting better.
So with all of these projects that you've released and through maybe social media of some sort, have you had any rappers or producers or stuff like that ever reach out to you? Or has there been any opportunities that have opened up to you because of this music endeavor?
So definitely a lot of opportunities. Now, the value of those opportunities is what varies. Instagram is full of clout chasers. So, I get a ton of messages on a weekly basis from people that either A, have less followers or B, have fake followers. And whether it's, they want a feature or they're like, hey, I have beats. Like, do you want a beat? And, sometimes I even doubt that the person hitting me up even made the beat. I feel like they just downloaded it somewhere and they're trying to scam people. And then, the promoters that they're, organic promotion, pay $30 for this. And then meanwhile, there's fucking 25 people in a bunker somewhere in Ukraine that are just giving you fake likes and having fake accounts follow you. So, definitely there's a lot of people that hit you up. And if they see that you have more followers, they're going to try and piggyback off that. But it's definitely been cool also to link with, I have linked with a few artists. One guy from Ohio did a feature on Prophet and Friends, Laugh Too Much, and great verse. Honestly, probably one of my top two favorite features that I've ever had someone on. And then another guy, Rome Music, I had him hop on a track, and he's got a lot of followers, and I like his solo music too. He's releasing more soon, and I really liked his feature on my track that he did. So it's definitely cool to link with other artists from that, you would never even know about or never have the ability to connect with if it weren't for social media. So just like anything on social media, there's good and there's bad. So there have been some cool opportunities, but nothing huge, nothing life-changing or anything like that. But I definitely like the networking aspect of it.
So how do you stay motivated and keep your eye on the prize with such a busy schedule such as yours?
It's just how are you wired, you know? A lot of people are just not wired to do the hard work. I feel like there's so many people, I feel like I keep saying, you know, in our generation, because I don't know about you, but like there's a lot of peers that I had at college where I look at, I'm like, dog, what are you going to do, man? Like, you know, people that just don't try and people that aren't that smart in the first place and they don't try. It's like, oh, come on, man. Like I feel like there's way too many people in our generation like that. I'm just constantly driven to be better. I'm very competitive. You know, it comes from my extensive baseball background and martial arts background. So it's just the level of competition that I hate losing so much. So it's like I always want to get better. I always want to be able to further an opportunity, whatever that is. If you look at fitness as an opportunity, each day you have an opportunity to better yourself. And whether you're trying to bulk up, get lean, get skinnier, whatever the goal is, you know, you have an opportunity and you can choose to capitalize on it or not. So that's just kind of how I'm looking at life now. And I feel like too, with COVID and kind of eliminating so much social interaction for most people, I feel like it's just literally the perfect time to buckle down and get your head right and focused on yourself, whatever it is that you got to get better at. I feel like this is literally the perfect time.
Yes, I agree with you. I feel like this time during COVID-19, where people are spending a lot more time at home, as I'm sure have been recommended to people before, you know, learn a new skill or explore an interest that you've always wanted to take a look at and see if it's really something that you're into. Like, for example, maybe if someone wants to learn a new language, take all the extra time that you have, stay motivated and make a schedule and go on whatever website or however they want to learn the new language, or even learn a new instrument also. That can help people stay more motivated and kind of practice being motivated as well. And maybe building up those skills of motivation and determination to finally learn this new skill will translate over to their real life and maybe have a goal that they want to accomplish at work or something like that. Okay, so finally, just to kind of wrap up here, there was a lot of good stuff that you said today, but is there any final advice you'd like to give anyone out there who's trying to find time and motivation to pursue their passions?
Just like Nike says, just do it. That's literally the best possible advice, is just make time. And, you know, it's definitely was an adjustment for me going, you know, having my last semester of college be abruptly ended, and then it's all of a sudden, now we're on Zoom. And going from a couple of months where I only had 3 Zoom classes and a ton of free time to then 45 hours a week at a full-time job, you know, still trying to work out, still trying to work on music. So it's just, you have a choice every day. If you want to be productive the whole day, you know, be productive as much as you possibly can. And it's finding the balance between maximizing every hour in the day while also still maintaining your mental health, because you don't want to, you know, be working 12 hours a day or doing something you don't want to do and it's just eating at you every day. I think the goal is really find something that is going to be productive for you as a person, be productive financially, and just pursuing that. It's really just balancing productivity with enjoyment, because you got to enjoy life. Life's nothing if you're miserable. So yeah, just balance productivity and having a good time. That's life.
So where can we find you? If people want to follow you, if people want to listen to your music, where can people out there find you?
So it is SFV.Prophet on everything. On Instagram, on SoundCloud, on Apple Music and Spotify. Not everything I've released is on Apple Music and Spotify, but everything going forward. So this is actually, I guess, a bit of an announcement because I've never said this, but everything going forward is going to be on streaming services only. The only thing that would be on SoundCloud would be like if I did a remix or something like that, but definitely going to focus on the streaming services. So SFV.Prophet, and got some exciting stuff that I'm working on.
Okay, well, that's good. I guess we'll be looking forward to that. So thank you so much for, again, taking the time to talk to me today on Skatz Chats, and I appreciate you being here.
Yep, I definitely enjoyed the conversation, and nice to talk to somebody who is also very driven and wants to make a positive impact in the world.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was a lot of fun to talk to Prophet. There was a lot of good advice that he shared during this interview, but here are a few main takeaways I'd like you to remember. So first, if you have a passion you want to pursue, or have even the slightest interest in learning more about something, just go for it. It doesn't have to turn into a full-time job or even a side hustle. You should ultimately pursue your passion for yourself and for you to feel fulfilled. Take me, for example. I didn't have to start this podcast for school or to make money off of it. I wanted to start this podcast to benefit myself and others, and ultimately project positivity and optimistic energy. From this podcast, I want to hopefully inspire others to just make a positive change in their own life and in the world. So if your passion is something that will make you truly happy, just like Skatz Chats does for me, then I would say go for it. Why not? Second, sometimes we may not think we have time to pursue our passions. But think about this. I mean, humans have a habit of wasting time, don't you think? As Prophet stated, yes, we all need time for relaxation, but we also need to be motivated to not waste time and just take advantage of every minute. Be more conscious of how you spend your time, and maybe try to schedule time to explore and pursue your passions throughout the week. And third, it's also hard to stay motivated sometimes. But as Prophet shared, ask yourself, what am I going to do today to make my future better? Just be motivated by the future you want to create for yourself, and be motivated to keep getting better and keep getting one step closer to that future. And just remember, you have a choice every single day. Prophet said that it's a matter of balancing productivity with enjoyment. So focus on what you can control, trust the process, and make time. You can do this, my friend. Like I've said in previous episodes, you just have to believe in yourself, and you must take action. Or, just like Nike, just do it. Because no one else is going to do it for you. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so very much for listening to Skatz Chats. I hope you enjoyed the first edition of Chatting It Up. And a special thank you to my guest, SFV.Prophet, for being on today's episode. Don't forget to hit subscribe and write us a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out a lot. Also, give us a like on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at Skatz Chats. Have a wonderful day, stay motivated, and I'll see you on November 1st for another brand new episode of Skatz Chats. Bye! Thank you so much for listening to Skatz Chats. If you'd like to request a topic of discussion, head over to our website at www.skatzchats.com. The Skatz Chats logo is designed by Nkartz, and our theme song is written and produced by Daddy Lacus.